If you own a lawn care or landscaping business, you will not want to miss out on this video today. It's something brand new I've never done before, and that is actually share a video that only Augusta Nation typically sees. And this video actually comes from our private Facebook group. So being part of Augusta Lawn Care and our franchisees, we are all part of a Facebook group and we hold each other accountable, ask questions, and it's a great community. However, there was one video in there that I thought was really good and spoke to a lot of the demands and issues that we have as landscapers in the spring rush when things get really difficult. And it's actually from one of our owners. His name is Ryan Payne, and last year in 2022, he won the award for the highest revenue for multi-location owners. He has 2 locations out in Texas, and he also has a nursery and a dealership that he sells from as well. Now, typically we're pretty positive, upbeat, encouraging and motivating each other, but sometimes you just need a little bit of a kick in the pants and motivation and some tough love. And that's what Ryan's gonna be dishing out today. I thought it was very helpful, so I asked him if I could share this publicly, and I think it's valuable. So without any further delay, this is Ryan out in Texas, and really looking forward to being able to share this clip with you.
Hey everybody, I've had a few people ask me for a shop tour. I want to give one of those, so I'm going to do it tonight. I'm not really going to talk much about the shop at all. I'm just going to kind of have it as background footage. I got to thinking with the new coaching calls. You know, Mike said they're going to do grading and some soft skills, and some people want a player's coach, some people want a tough coach, right? I'm definitely a guy who wants a tough coach. I'm competitive. I'm all for all the hoorah and, you know, all the uplifting posts and this and that, and I understand them, you know, the need for them. It motivates some people. But I'm here today to be the tough coach, to give the tough love. So if you get your feelings hurt easy, I would just stop the video. If you like a tough coach, I would listen to what I have to say. First thing I want to talk about is, we talk all winter about how spring rush is not easy. You know, people preach it, talk about it, post it, make videos about it. Everyone knows it, right? You would think, right? I mean, everyone watches the videos, they get lots of comments, and then every spring rush comes in. Then we have all the people talking about how hard it is and everything else. And this video is not directed at any one person, but if you take it personally, you probably need to watch it. You know, everyone has excuses. Why they can't do this, why they can't hire people, why they can't find people, why they can't pay enough money, why they can't land jobs, their prices are too high, or this, or there's always excuses. I started my company in 2017. Let me preface all this by saying I'm not the best. I don't claim to be the best or the smartest or the brightest. I have no real advantage. Let me give you a little bit of my background. I started in 2017. I had a full-time job as a crane operator. I started the company because we were still living paycheck to paycheck, even with the money I was making, and I had kids to take care of. I had no website built for me. I decided in October of 2016 I was going to get into lawn care. I picked lawn care because it is so easy. You don't have to be a journeyman. You don't have to invest any years or time or get certifications. Guess what, guys? That's the reason there's 10,000 Chucks in a truck in your city. Because it's easy. We all picked an easy service. What we do every day doesn't require an incredible amount of skill as far as the labor that's being done. So when it comes to that, you have 3 options, right? If you're not making enough money, you can't get jobs approved, you can either become the best at what you're doing, even if it's a simple skill like lawn care or house cleaning, whatever it is. You put in the time, you learn how to be more efficient, how to optimize, how to get more out of your guys, the most optimal setup for your trucks. The second option is you learn a trade that takes more skill. Landscaping, hardscaping, drainage, things that people are scared to do. I don't know why they're scared. With no risk, there's no reward. People have no problem going out and buying a course, a book, a guide, an audio book, putting in their headphones. But people have an issue bidding a job they don't know how to do because they might lose money. Chalk it up to buying a course. You're getting hands-on experience. Just do it. I had no background in lawn care and landscaping. I hate it mowing my yard. It's dark and I have lights out, so you can't see all the trucks that well, but there's 4 of them right here. I hated mowing my yard growing up. I was a video game kid. Let me tell you, I'm a I was a World of Warcraft player. It consumed my life in high school and college. The only yard I ever mowed was my own yard growing up because I had to for allowance. I never landscaped. I never worked for a landscape company. None of that. I didn't even own a mower or mow my own yard at my house when I decided to start my company. I had a lawn care service. That's how much I disliked mowing grass. I simply picked it because it was easy. Mike has made it super easy for everybody now, which I think is a great advantage, right? You pay $15,000 or $20,000 and you're given a website and a Google My Business page and all these guides and P4P, and it's fantastic that that's available to everybody. It wasn't when I started. The first thing I realized that I didn't know how to do was register an LLC and all the business stuff. So that was the first task I took on in October of 2016. Next thing I had to do was learn how to make a website because I didn't have any money. I sat down and taught myself WordPress, how servers work, how to install the software, how to update it, how to Photoshop graphics, how to make videos for my website. I taught myself search engine optimization, page slugs, header titles, tags, alt text, all that other stuff you gotta know. You guys don't have to, right? Mike's got a team for you. But that's what I did. I built my own website. It had 100 pages. I had a page for every city. I had a page for every service. I had all the keywords. I got my logo designed on Fiverr. That's what I learned how to do. Picked one, went with it. No one set up my payroll for me. I had to learn how to do that too. I had to teach myself the Grasshopper app, how to get a business phone number. Then we grew and I had to teach myself Ring Central and voice over IP, trunk servers, all the stuff that no one here has to worry about. I think part of it is a detriment because right now it's so easy to get in. Grant the coaches do a good job screening people, but as far as wanting to be in the business, you don't have to jump over all the initial hurdles that make or break a lot of people before they get too invested. Now you can do a coaching call, be a good candidate, pay some money, get a website, phone number, call center. I had to figure out how to set up payroll, how to run payroll, how taxes work. I knew nothing. I worked a full-time job with mandatory overtime as a crane operator. I would get home and stay up all night teaching myself how to code, how to do graphic design, how to do payroll. I even had my own version of performance pay before P4P. It was not as good, it was not as simple, but I realized very quickly that I had to find a way to make my guys more efficient. I grew up with a one-income family, right? My dad worked, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. There was no money to help me, no loans, no starter equipment, no handouts. I got started January 1st of 2017. In hindsight, what a bad month to start, right? I think I might have used a zero turn, maybe. There's a very good chance I had never used one before. I honestly can't remember. I started off with a 5x8 push trailer that was a piece of shit. I got a Husqvarna push mower and a trimmer off Facebook Marketplace. And I just started knocking on doors. I had business cards. I didn't have door hangers. I didn't know statistics on door hangers. None of that stuff. And then I hear all kinds of excuses, you know, like, oh, I'm not in shape or the work's too hard. Guess what? I was 410 pounds. Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight since then because it was a problem and I had to solve it. The one gift I was given in my life was pure hard-headed and stubbornness. I will never give up or quit. The way I was raised, quitting is the ultimate failure. My kids are raised that they're not allowed to quit anything. I don't care how good or bad you are at it. I don't judge them at all. If they quit, I will be highly disappointed. And if I have it my way, they're not allowed. You know, then you hear the excuse of, oh, it's hard to find workers. None of us have it easy finding workers. How much time do you put into it? Do you put as much time into finding employees as you do finding customers? Are you handing out cards at Lowe's, Home Depot, the drive-thrus, every person you know? When you see other crews out mowing, do you stop other companies, go up to their trucks, talk to them? I carry a cooler in the back of my truck right there, full of Gatorades, drinks, Monsters, Red Bulls with the "we're hiring" cards that Mike was nice enough to give us. I stop and talk to every one of my competitors. My biggest competitor here in town, his brother works for him. They were at the bank last week. I gave that whole 6-man crew my hiring cards, including his brother. Yeah, I know he's gonna get it. Yeah, I know he's gonna call me. I don't care. There is nothing that'll get in my way to accomplish my goals. And you need to have the same mindset. I listen to the Mike's Minutes every single day. I don't miss them. I'm a busy guy. I have the nursery, I have the dealership, I still listen to them every day. I'm here every day, I don't have to be. I've made it to the point where I don't have to come to work if I don't want to. It is currently 10:30 p.m. and I'm still at the shop. I worked all day. I went to my daughter's playoff softball game that ended at 9:30 and I came back to the shop. I don't have to be here. I just know that if I want what I want, the way to get it is to work harder than everybody else. When it comes to these Mike's Minutes, we get so many questions that are personal opinion. Hey, I just hired this guy and I think he's gonna be great. He's been here for 17 minutes. But I have another guy and I don't think I'll have enough work. What should I do? You should figure it out. If you want him, go find the work. Knock on the doors. If you think he's better than the other guy, then fire the other guy. Be decisive. Just pick a path and go down it. You can always change it. You can go back. You can hire somebody else. There's just so many things, and then I see people talking about, oh, I've talked to my guys about this and we've had meetings and they're still late and blah, 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 and whatever your guys do. I've had guys steal equipment. I've had trucks and dump trailers rolled. I've had people snort crack off the shelf in my enclosed trailer, cut the GPS out of my trucks. We let guys take our trucks to evacuate for Hurricane Harvey, which I haven't even got to, and not bring my trucks back because their house got demolished and they had no reason to come back here besides being a good person and returning my equipment. And Lord knows they didn't do that. Had to drive all around Texas to get my trucks. There is just no excuse that you have. You have kids? I have kids. I have an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old. You want to talk about spring rush? Own a nursery, an outdoor power equipment dealership, 2 lawn care companies, and have 2 daughters that play softball. 4 or 5 games a week, 3-4-hour games. When you don't have games, you have practice, you're driving everywhere. Spring is a madhouse. It's just not an excuse. I average maybe 3 hours of sleep a night. That's enough because I want it that bad. People say, oh, it's too hot. Come down here and work with us for a week in South Texas. I'll show you hot and humid. The weather's terrible. You think your guys can't make it? They would never make it here either. You have to realize at a certain point, there's not a formula, a math number, an equation that's going to answer all your questions. It comes down to how you want to run your business. If your guys are late every day and you're not writing them up because you just don't have the time to fill out yellow slips, yeah, I've heard that one. Well, then you made the choice to not make the time. If you don't write them up for being late, you accepted them being late. They're not idiots. They know you've accepted it. They now have the leverage. Or I also have heard other people that write their guys up all the time, right? They have 1,000,000 yellow slips. If they have 1,000,000 yellow slips, why do they still work for you? Why do you have an employee handbook that you have them sign that says if they do X, Y, and Z, you will terminate them, and then they do it and you don't? Because guess what? You just told every other person that works for you that they don't have to do it either. When you give them a yellow slip, it don't really matter. Stick to your guns. Have a spine. Don't let these guys control you. This is your business. It's not my business. It's not Mike Andy's business. It's not Chuck and Lee's business. You have to know how you want to run your business. Are you going to tolerate people being late? Do you have guys come to work without a uniform and you let them get in your truck because you're behind? Guess what? You just made a choice to accept your employees not wearing uniforms. We have been slammed because of all the rain we had, trying to keep up projects, rescheduling, working weekends, guys out till 8 or 9 at night. We had an employee come with no uniform. We sent him home. It's unacceptable. I'm not gonna let 1 week schedule dictate my culture and what I'm willing to accept. Do you let somebody without a driver's license drive your truck because you're in a bind? Well, guess what? You just made a choice to take that risk and set yourself up for failure. We had someone come 1 minute late. They're consistently late, this employee, on the verge of being let go. They haven't quite broke enough of the rules yet, but they're getting there. They showed up 1 minute late to a Monday morning meeting. I could have really used them. My GM could have really used them. We all know that. You know what he got told? Hey, go back to your car and try again tomorrow. Because I wanted to set an example for everyone else that was there. That it's unacceptable. There is no situation that I will accept it. I don't care what it is, how backed up we are, how many complaint calls we're getting. Yeah, we also take 99% of our own calls, our own emails. We do it all here because I had it before Augusta. We had to learn how to do it, how to manage it, how to communicate, how to run our office, how to use Slack and priority lists and make SOPs. And we had to learn how to make an employee handbook. We didn't have any of this. And you just learn by doing it. There's too many people that are just looking to be spoon-fed, and they just have to do it. You're not gonna learn if you don't do it. You know when I learned how to run a mini skid? Never ran one in my life. I saw my competitors using one every day in town, getting jobs done faster than me, charging less money than me because they were finishing in half the time. I couldn't get the work. So what did I do? I solved the problem. I went and bought a mini skid. I learned how to drive it the day it got delivered. Did I drive it well? Hell no. Did I drive it good enough? Yeah, got the job done. All these people that are saying, oh, well, I don't do projects because they're hard or they require more skilled labor or they're higher risk or any other excuse you can give me about projects. The simple fact is, if you want to do projects and you're not, it just comes down to not putting in the work. Every project we've ever done, I didn't know how to do. I've never built a chain link barbed wire fence before. Guess what? YouTube. Never did sod before. YouTube. Decks, pergolas, patios, water features, koi ponds, pavers, flagstone, hardscape. I didn't know any of it. Never went to a class, never worked for someone that did it. You just bid the job. The one thing that I was blessed with was extreme confidence. I am confident that I will do your job better than anyone else. If I don't know how to do it, yeah, it might take me 10 times longer, but you'll get the product you paid for, and I'm gonna learn how to do it right, and I guarantee you I'm gonna learn how to do it faster. I'm gonna time myself when I do it. My first 2 years in business, I didn't go to a job without a stopwatch. You need to know your production rates. How long does it take you to do something? You have to lay a pallet of sod? Get a stopwatch, turn it on. Lay your grass, stop it. How long did it take you? Hour and a half? Okay, did you do it by wheelbarrow? Write that in your notes app. Make a Google sheet. 1 pallet of sod by hand, 1.5 hours. Your next job's 10 pallets. Well, guess what? That's at least 15 hours. You've already timed it. Now, you tell yourself, hey, I don't get a lot of X, Y, and Z job. I don't get a lot of cleanups because they say my price is too high. I don't get a lot of mulch jobs. They say my price is too high. Well, you have two options, right? If your price is too high, You either have to get more efficient and learn how to do it faster, or acquire the equipment to do it faster. In my opinion, again, just an opinion, the two hardest locations to do what we do in the United States is Texas and Florida. You guys think you have cheap labor around you and guys doing stuff for next to nothing? I am a stone's throw away from Mexico. There is 1 million people around here who will literally, they'll knock on your door. 3 different people in a week. Hey, do you need your yard mowed? I'll do it for $25. They go to my estimator, Joe's house, a couple times a week. That's not an excuse to have a bad market. We're in one of the worst, and we do it. What I'm telling you is if you want it, get it. Everybody talks about Jocko and extreme ownership. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to be about it. Actions speak louder than words. What are you doing? Look at your number one competitor in town. Did you work harder than him today? Did you work longer? Did you learn something he don't know? Did you improve your business in a way that he didn't? You're never going to take first place if you're always trailing behind. If you don't risk it, there's no reward. No one's going to show up and just teach you how to do everything. Take ownership and teach yourself. If you're not making time to create the culture you want or hire the guys you want, that falls on you. If your employees do a bad job, it falls on you. Maybe they did a bad job because you should have fired them and you didn't. Maybe you didn't train them well enough. Maybe you didn't train them at all. Maybe their first day at your company was, hey, they just came to apply. I don't even have uniforms. Just hop in my truck and let's go see how you do today. No initiation, no formal process, no come up for an interview. And then we hear, oh man, everyone I hire quits. Well, you put in no effort in hiring them. You took the lowest hanging fruit and you complain that they're not good. Put in the work. If you're someone that thrives on a challenge, if you're a competitive person like me, I want to end this with a challenge. Last year, we were the highest grossing multi-franchise owner. And I'm telling you right now, we're going to repeat without a doubt. If someone beats me, I will be thankful because it's going to drive me harder next year. I will be proud of them because I know they earned it, because I put in the work, and anyone who beats me, put in the work. If you own one franchise only, are you going for highest grossing revenue franchise of the year? If you're not, why are you in this? Push yourself. You can do it. If you are, I welcome you to the challenge because I didn't win it last year. And I have not stopped thinking about Brian in Augusta, Georgia beating me by $5,000 on $1.3 million. Him and Jeremy are great people. I love them. I'm glad they got it. But I think about it every day. I think about the fact that I haven't gotten franchise of the year in 2 years, and I love both the Kevins. Kevin Fairburn, it's like a best friend I never had, but do I want that trophy? Yeah, I want that trophy. I want a wall full of trophies. You see this one? That's the trophy for last year. This year, I want 3 more sitting next to it. I want to repeat that one. I want Rockport to win highest grossing revenue franchise of the year on its own. And I want franchise of the year. You want those two? Take on the challenge. People are doing 75 hard. Come and take it from me. I welcome it. If you're ever just needing tough love and you're tired of all the Care Bear hand holding, back patting, I don't give out participation trophies. Call me and I'll give you a reality check. Because I guarantee you, I can find something that you're not doing right. You're not doing good enough. You're not putting in enough effort. I will call out every detail. And I'm not just saying that because I can. I'm saying that because everyone looks at what I have. This is a $1 million property on the beach. They see my trucks, they see our success, they see the Max Matrix, and They all think, man, you know, they're doing really well. They're killing it. You know, we always get congratulations and we love them. But you know what I see when I come here every day? I see 1,000 things that can be better. Things that we can be more efficient on, ways we can save money. You know why I opened this dealership? I opened this dealership because I thought, okay, my market is so tough and so price sensitive, I have to be able to be cheaper than everybody else. This is what I knew, just basic knowledge. I'm a college dropout. I had my first kid at 20, my second kid at 22. Our hurricane wiped out my house and my shop 7 months into my first year. I had to take a loan from a bank to make payroll. I just knew that I had to find a way to lower my prices. And I thought, man, if I can get my equipment cheaper than everybody else, and I can get my parts cheaper than everybody else, and I'm not paying $120 an hour for small engine repair, I can have a mechanic on salary. I knew I needed a mechanic on salary to save money, but I knew my lawn company wasn't big enough to justify a mechanic. So I called our Skag rep, requested a demo of a mower unit, a V-Ride 2, because they will bring them down to your area and let you drive them. My intention wasn't to necessarily talk about the V-Ride. Yeah, I wanted to see it. It was to talk to him about how you become a dealer, because I knew nothing. And I thought that was as good a place to start as any. Less than a year and a half later, we opened. And I knew nothing about it. I had to learn a whole new business model. Let me tell you, retail sales is one business on its own. A service company, that's a whole nother business. It has its own matrix and KPIs and things you have to know. I learned it all. My first year in the dealership, I lost $100,000. The build out, the inventory, the software, phone systems, computers. Yeah, you look in hindsight and you're like, man, you could have used that $100,000, you know, like to buy more equipment or advertise or market. But I took a path. Right? I took a path. My path was open a dealership to get cheaper equipment and cheaper mechanics. Once I was down that path, I was down it. There's no looking back. I opened my nursery for the same reason. I was like, man, how can I do my landscape jobs cheaper and still maintain my profit margin? Because we protect that at all costs. I can't just be cheaper to be cheaper. I need to be cheaper and make 20%. Well, how can I do that? I found out that wholesalers sell 3-gallon plants to these nurseries for $7 to $12, and we're paying $30 to $40. 400 or 500% markup. Man, if I could get my plants at cost, I could sell them for the same price the other guys buy them for at the nursery before they mark them up to the customers. And I'm gonna be that much cheaper. I get my edging at cost. I get my bender board at cost. I have lots of plans, you know. It's called vertical integration. Did I know what that was when I started? Hell no, I didn't know what that was, but I learned what it was. And the most important thing about that is I didn't just learn it, I took action. Once I learned it, I knew what I had to do and I did it. Everyone here is always about learning, but very few people take the action. You know, it doesn't matter what you know if you do nothing with the information. Get out there and do it. That's all I have for this. I had no script. It was off the cuff, but I knew people needed to hear this. Yeah, it's spring rush. It's hard. It's not supposed to be easy. I hope you have someone in your market that's not as competitive as me. Because if I was there, I'm coming for it. I want all of it. I want every yard. If I don't mow the yard, I want to sell the mower that mows the yard. If I don't do the landscape job, I want to sell all the material that they did the job for. Because I know that if they're doing that job cheaper than me and they're buying product from me, guess what? Their profit margin is terrible and they're not going to be here long. So if I can get as much of their money as I can before they go out of business, I'm going to take it. That's the goal. You want to know future plans here? Future plans are to take the amount of money that's required to buy 2x2x5 blocks and build bulk bays along this whole entire fence down here so I can bring in all my bulk mulch, my river rock, number 57 limestone, sea ballast, shadow rock, flagstone. I'm gonna be the supplier because the only place that I buy material from now is rock yards, masonry yards. That's a major disadvantage that I have. I have to buy material while everybody else does. That's not fair. And I already have it in the plans. We got blueprints drawn up. We've priced the material. It's coming. You know what phase 3 is? I have to drive 40 minutes to the nearest irrigation warehouse. Guess what? I wasn't a licensed irrigator either. Taught myself how to do that. Did it. Didn't know how to do applications. You don't do weed control and fertilizer, you know, why don't you do it? You don't know how? That's a terrible excuse. I didn't know how either. You know, in most states, you can treat your own lawn without a license. Just do it. I ended up contacting a company that sells chemical. It's called Harold's, because I thought, okay, how do you learn about it? Well, the people that sell you the product it's in their best interest to teach you, right? If they teach you and you do it, you might buy from them. That's just capitalism. So I called the biggest chemical supplier in Texas, got a guy named Curtis. I had him teach me everything he knew. I took him to lunch. I've met him numerous times. I ask him questions to this day, all the time. If I spray a yard and a weed doesn't die, guess what? It goes to Curtis. Then Curtis referred me to a very nice gentleman with a PhD in turf science that went to Texas A&M. Guess what? No matter how much I ever study, I'm not gonna know what that guy knows. He dedicated his life to it. I paid him to develop our entire treatment plan based on our zip codes. That one not only guaranteed me having the best treatment program in my town, because no one else did that. 2, it gave me the ability to advertise that we have the best treatment plan in town. I bought the chemicals he told me to buy and did what he told me to do. Go back to a yard, maybe a particular weed didn't die. Your customer calls and complains, you guys treated my yard and I still have this weed. You just own it. You go back over there, take a picture of it, put it in the identify this or picture this, plant this, whatever the app's called. There's numerous ones, and it's gonna tell you what the name of that weed is. Then you take the name of that weed and you put it in Google. Once you put it in Google, you'll get the scientific name for it. Then you Google what chemicals kill this in X, Y, and Z grass. If you don't know what kind of grass you have, go to your local nursery and ask them. You don't have to know everything. Be humble and ask questions and listen. They will tell you what kind of grass you have. Then once you know the name of that weed, you Google what chemical kills this weed in that grass. You're gonna find it. Then you go back to that house. Try to charge the customer for it. We're here to make money. Spray them. Maybe you gotta give it away for free, but you're learning, right? It's no different than buying a course. You spray it, go back, check on it. Did it die? Yeah. Now you know, okay, when I see that type of weed, I'm gonna have to put this in my tank. Or maybe that chemical is more expensive, so you're like, well, I need to have a separate tank for that because I don't come across this weed that often. That's not something you're gonna be able to ask on Facebook. Everybody is busy, right? I feel like Facebook has replaced Google. There's so many things I see on there and I answer as many as I can and I wanna be as helpful as possible. But my first thought was, did you even Google this? Or did you just come here to immediately ask everybody else? We need a lot more free thinkers, go-getters. Challenge yourself, learn it, do it. I believe that I work harder than 99% of people. Besides Mike Andes. Hey, he's the only person I could text at 2 in the morning and 7 a.m. and I know he's gonna answer. He is up when I'm up, I guarantee it. And that's what gives me the most respect for him, is the dedication, the commitment, the fact that I know how he started because no one gave him a playbook. No one told him how to handle workers' comp claims. No one told him how to fire, to not do business with family or do this or do that, how to do payroll, how to pay taxes.
No one told me how to do an outro either, but here we are. I think the video just cut out there, but I think it was a great talk by Ryan and a bit of a kick in the pants for all of us. I want you to comment below what was something that you learned in this talk from Ryan over the past 30 minutes, in addition to how many cool trucks he has and the awesome layout of his shop. But in addition to that, what did you learn and what was one of the key takeaways that you had from the video? Also, show Ryan some love because, you know, these videos like this, he's in the middle of the night, he doesn't have to do this, he's just doing this to help other people, and I really do appreciate it.